Welcome. Another episode of Red Flag Podcast with my guy Seyi. How far, bro? How's your side?
Hey man, a day. Not a great week for United fans, as you can imagine. But I mean, you were on vacation anyway. How was that?
Guy was saying, back to the hoodie weather. Guy was wearing tank top the last time that we had the the call. So this time we're back to hoodie gang. Um, yeah, it was good. Happy to be back home. So let's push through this week in sports, starting with our regular NFL from yesterday. Um,
Yeah,
Pretty action packed day. I mean, obviously, like they had like past Thanksgiving weekend where there were like a couple of games, but this one like good to get back to regular schedule. So big game to start off. Packers Lions continue to showcase their dominance. I know that was a tight game. Any additional comments from there?
yeah. On the Lions for me, like I think they are going to have a serious problem overcoming these their defensive injuries because honestly, you had guys playing in that game on Thursday that were just signed to their team on Monday or on Sunday. So it's not very easy, like, like learning the whole scheme and everything in just a couple of days. So if they continue getting these injuries on defense, like, I don't know. At some point it might tail. But I mean, their offense continues to do the business and get them over the line. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I mean, they've done a good well, like keeping up continuity, regardless of people falling down and getting hurt. But I agree with you. They've been good to replace those people and continue and keep things going as much as possible. But it's going to be tough when you get into the playoffs and you want to have your best roster together. So we'll see how they can
Exactly.
continue to progress. Jags and Titans, another. I think there was no touchdown in this game again.
There was one, but it wasn't from the QB. It was a rushing touchdown. The Jaguars,
Yeah.
like, bro, Mark Jones was just Mark Jones. Like, honestly, I don't know how that guy's still in the NFL. Like, I know I've never played American football, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I don't know how that guy's still an NFL player.
Yeah, bro. We'll see if he continues staying in the league. I know there was a lot of hype from him coming out of Alabama, but from being dumped in New England to now trying to sort of struggle to be a backup, like I kind of knew that was his pathway. He wasn't really that guy in college, so for him to come and be that guy, and it's funny he was the one that unseated. No, actually, that was Tua. Sorry, wrong guy. I was about to say it was the one that unseated Jalen Hurts as quarterback, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. Jets continue their losing ways, 26-32.
To be
There's
fair
no
to them, this week Aaron Rodgers threw for over 300 yards. First time in like 6, 7. I don't even know how many games, but yeah, like, to be fair to them, they tried. They tried. Guys Wilson was really showing like why we all know him to be Guys Wilson, but yeah,
bro, it's little
they
too
couldn't
late.
get it over the line in overtime. They lost it all. Dolphins went down and scored a touchdown, and that was it. Yeah,
For me, it's just like their season has been over since the start. So even us having this one sentence on them is more than enough. Push the restart button, bro. When they're ready, they can come back.
Roger says he
Like,
wants to come back anyway, but we'll see.
yeah,
We'll see
we'll
what
see
the
who
franchise
sign him.
decides.
I mean, it might make sense draft a quarterback and sitting behind Rodgers, but um, again, it's the Jets. They're likely to do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Um, Going on, the Falcons. I think this was their second loss again. They've lost, bro. The Falcons have really dipped since the start of the season.
Bro, like, just continuing in that line of, yeah, sitting a young QB behind a more experienced QB, like, I think Falcons need to decide, as an organization, if it's time to give Michael Penix Jr. a chance to, get some proper starting NFL reps because Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins is
yeah.
like not
Towards
looking like
the
it. Bro.
towards the end of the season, I anticipate like in the next this coming week and the week after, I would anticipate him getting a little bit more reps, maybe in the third, fourth quarter, depending
Bro,
on how the
like
game is
Kirk
looking.
Cousins threw 4 interceptions in their last game, if I remember correctly, and he threw a bit like he threw more interceptions yesterday. Like,
No, bro, I think definitely when they got Kirk Cousins, it was more like a bridge. A lot of people thought like the contract that they signed him was kind of them committing their future to him. But I think after the next year, he's very cuttable as a player in terms of how they structured the
his
deal.
deal, yeah.
So they just needed a 2 year bridge. And I think they probably won't play Penix too much this season. Maybe next season, halfway through, is when they'll start bleeding him a little bit more. And then by the third season, they've already made that choice that they're moving on. But it's smart as it's what a lot of the things that we talked about how NFL players have been mismanaged, quarterbacks especially, not
Yeah.
bedding them into the starting lineup too quick, and they don't have that understanding of the offense.
Hmm.
But yeah, we'll see. Saints continue to win 14-11 against the Sorio Giants. Same old, same old.
Honestly, it came down to special teams. Like Giants missed a field goal at the end of the game and couldn't tie it, right? But they are not great, and it's we don't expect anything different when you put
No.
your third string as your. Sorry, okay, it was Drew Lock who played yesterday, so he's the actual backup, right? Replacing Daniel Jones as the starter. But yeah,
No, bro. Like
they
I
don't. Giants fans can't actually be expecting anything
no, and I
from this
think the
team.
Giants fans want this. They want the tank just so that they can get the best
Yeah,
draft picks.
like
But
I don't
I
think
still
they are too
they'll make the best decision.
disappointed. Yeah,
Still just
we'll
don't
see.
think so.
Draft is not that far away anymore.
Yeah, start thinking about college prospects, which we'll get into that eventually. But we'll introduce what is their own playoff end of the year run to sort of determine some of those guys that might rise in the draft. Moving on, we have the Eagles and the Panthers. Your boy Eagles again flying and flying. It was not as competitive a game, but the Eagles are, I think, overall are playing pretty well, and they're doing what I've always mentioned as like the keys to winning, running the ball well. I think Saquon had another 100+ yard game, no rushing touchdown, unfortunately. Jalen Hurts not turning the ball over, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. Um, Devontae Smith came back, so he had some yards. Sure, AJ Brown also had some yards. Goddard and Blankenship were hurt so they missed the game. Blankenship had a concussion. Goddard has a knee injury. So I think the Eagles are again still onward positive momentum going into the playoffs, which is one of the key things why a lot of people are seeing them as favorites. But I am tempering my expectations because I know that what the Eagles need to keep on doing is just ensuring that all those guys that are playing well continue to play well going into the playoffs. Your Hurts not turning the ball over, your Saquon 100+ and 1 TD, and then your Devontae, you want him to get back up to speed. AJ Brown has been showing up since he returned, so just keeping that going and getting Dallas Goddard too. But yeah, any additional points on this?
Yeah. So after I watched the Lions game, I was like, yeah, the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl. Like I actually like flipped after watching that game on Thursday. But after seeing the manner in which the Eagles beat the Panthers, right? I'm not sure. And in addition to that, like the comments after the game from your wide receivers about like the issues with the passing. Like, yes, it is good to have like a running game, when your running backs are doing well for you, like getting a lot of yards. But it should not be to the detriment of your passing game. Like, yes, Saquon and Gainwell, right? They are getting all those yards because like you guys have like ballers at your wide receiver like positions, right? So the defense can't fully focus on stopping one and leaving the other. But like, I don't know, like look at your passing numbers at the end of every game. Like you will see that like Jalen Hurts can do more. Yes, he's not turning over the ball, right? But I don't know. I feel like the running game might be masking a bit of a deficiency in your passing. If you look at the other teams like the Ravens, like the Lions, right? I'm using those two teams as examples because I know they also have like very good like, running numbers for this season. But check what their QBs are dropping in terms of passing. They are significantly higher than Jalen Hurts numbers this season. So it's something that I think Eagles fans should just
No,
kind of try to focus on a bit and just see.
100%. And I think that's actually again strategy that the Eagles like to play with, because when it comes to the playoff, they almost unlock um their passing game a little bit more. So this is sort of like baseline. It's like giving them the baseline for how they're going to be playing through the season. When they now get into the new situation, which is the playoffs, then they can now throw in a little bit more wrinkles that opens up. And because you have that baseline, your offense has been running well, your running backs have been running well. You
Yeah.
know, like you said, your wide receivers are waiting to sort of take the top off and perform. So I think it will create a lot more opportunity going down the road. But I completely agree with you. When I look at Eagle stats, like if the game is too late and I'm unable to watch it, the first thing I look at obviously is the scoreline. The second thing I look at is when I go to passer, like the quarterback, I don't even look at touchdowns. I look at interceptions first. There are no interceptions, I'm happy. If there's one or two, I'm ecstatic. Then I look at the rushing, 100 plus yards. Okay, did he score a touchdown? No. My quarterback scored a touchdown. All right, we're still running the ball, able to punch it in. Then I now look at my wide receivers and I say, there are three guys that I know can easily have 100 plus yards. Devontae, AJ, and Goddard. Who has
Yeah.
what? What is the distribution? Most times 60, 40, 30 is kind of what they are. And that is like a little bit 200 yards. Other people catch balls here, 15, 20 yards, things like that. The running backs also catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But in my mind, I'm like, those three people, if they have above 50 plus yards, we've already booked 150 yards and
Yeah.
we scored touchdown. That's all we need to win. That's all you really need to win. But I hear you. They're not the most exciting or electric team at times, but I think that's what you require to win championships. So we'll continue to drive this dry ball.
Because honestly, like if what's this guy's name? This their rookie receiver in Carolina, Xavier Leggett. Like
Yeah,
if
drop the
that if
ball.
if that guy made certain plays, like God knows what that scoreline would have ended up being. But
But that's
I
another
mean,
thing where I
it's
know that they
too many ifs, buts, and the Eagles won the game. They deserve to win the game. So
exactly like they almost don't play as good as they should based on their squad. They almost like play to the competition that they're playing against. So if it was maybe a more tougher team, they would do more things. But when it's an easier team, like they're almost going to play downwards rather than keep that standard, which is not always great. But that's why for me, it's like those key indicators: interceptions, rushing yards, and low turnovers is the most important thing. But yeah,
that's
we
right.
still have more Eagles situations to go talk through. So let's move on to the Browns and the Steelers, where the Steelers continue to win again. This guy's bro.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin is one of the most underrated coaches in the league. Fact that this guy
I
has
hope he wins
never,
it this year. I hope he wins Coach of the Year this year. But
he better. The fact that this guy has never, even with the quarterback he had last season, like he did not have, he's never not played in the playoffs or had a non or a losing season. It's
losing
like, bro,
season.
like
Yeah.
how do
And this is
you
his 18th year, right? I think.
how do you do that,
Consistency.
bro? Guys is honestly the goat when it comes to
God
coaching.
hasn't answered. God hasn't answered James Winston's prayer yet because he threw 2 interceptions yesterday. We're still we're still waiting for the Lord to deliver him from throwing picks. But yeah,
Yeah. Next interview, we'll see what else you are waiting for him to be delivered from. So finally we have the Bucks and the Raiders. Bucks won 28-13.
yeah,
Bucks continue to dominate. They've been a solid team. Baker Mayfield has been a solid quarterback this year, so all together solid performance from them.
yep.
Next set of results. Cardinals continue to struggle. 13-18 to the Seahawks. Bird gang situation. The
Bruh.
Bills just, bro, that game was heartbreaking, bro. Do you have any more comments about it? They lost to the Rams.
So Josh Allen made history again yesterday. First NFL QB with 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns in the same game. Like he played fantastic. He played ball, like proper ball. The defense didn't really help because I mean you score 42 points and you still lose a game. It's so painful. And like this is not like not it did require overtime. Like this was in like the full regulation time. The problem for me was what I can point to is refs missing a holding call on that last Puka Nakua like touchdown. Like I don't know. Refs miss calls all the time. But if I'm going to point to a reason why this game ended the way it did, I'll say that was it. So
Their
I don't know.
defense or the call? Which one are you going with?
The refs missed the call. Like Cooper Cup
Yeah.
was holding someone. Like it was
Mm,
supposed to be offensive pass interference or
mm.
offensive holding, right? To send the ball back. But they missed it
They didn't call
and
it.
scored touchdown. So
Yeah, but like you said, 42 after putting up 42 points to still get 44 in your defense, man. That's terrible. Both
that
defenses were
so
playing
so
bad.
that wasn't the only missed call, is what I'm trying to say, right? It wasn't the only
Okay.
missed call, but
Okay.
that one in particular was very, very like
Blatant. Yeah.
crucial to how the game ultimately ended. So I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. The
Yeah.
Rams
I mean,
also
he's
played
still
well.
doing well
The Rams,
with
like I
the.
mean, you don't score 44 points without playing well, right?
Yeah,
Very
no, I mean
supposed. So
both quarterbacks are doing pretty well, but I'm saying like the Bills, especially with Josh Allen losing a lot of his weapons, he's been truly an MVP candidate this year. So him, Lamar, and
I
Saquon,
mean,
like
now he
it's
knows how it
been
feels to be Lamar. Now he knows how it feels because he played an outstanding game, like a brilliant game, and you still lose by
you
one
just have your
possession or
guys.
something. Like
Yeah, tough. Okay, going on to the Bears, another loss. Thank God the 49ers have finally won, but it's just too late for them at this point in this season.
yeah,
Like,
Jawan Jennings masterclass, like 2 touchdowns, I think, and I think over 100 yards receiving. Confirm that, but yeah, like he was the star of the show for me on the day. 49ers played their third string running back because of injuries to McCaffrey and Mason, Jordan Mason. And before the end of the game, the guy had to leave the field with an injury. So
crazy.
where do they go from here? Like, I
Doesn't
don't know,
matter,
man.
bro. They're going home quickly, so they might as well just just pack up their bags, let their guys have long Christmas or summer holiday.
Fair enough.
Um, Chargers barely lost against the Chiefs. I'm
Yeah.
sure you have definitely some commentary on this. How
I
many
mean, I mean,
how many
The Chiefs
blown
have
calls?
they clinched the division with that win. Still number one seed. Now I think 2 games ahead of the Bills, who are the number two seed in the AFC. And yes, like congratulations to the Chiefs, first of all. Like, but is this luck ever going to run out at some point? Like, because the Chiefs, the
What
Chiefs
if
got the ball with like 3 minutes left on the clock, 3 or 4 minutes left on the clock, and the Chargers never got the ball. Like, talking about clock management, like the Chiefs, you have to give them like kudos, like in terms of how they manage the clock at the end of the game. Just slowly got the ball off the field and left a second on the clock and kicked walk-off field goal, and that was it. Like, what I would say is, in the first half, Chargers didn't score any points. Third quarter came, they scored what 14 points or something like that, and got the lead against the Chiefs in by the fourth quarter. Right, they were leading 17-16, and the Chiefs scored the field goal in the last second of the game, and that was it. Like, the field goal
was
hit the
like
post. He hit the post and still went in. Like, we've seen how many field goals have hit the post and just bounced out. But the Chiefs being the Chiefs, like, these guys
hey,
cannot lose at
you gotta make your
Arrowhead.
own luck,
So
bro.
far this season, they've not lost. So all I'll say
It was
is,
Taylor in the crowd.
I feel like teams are not as scared as they used to be of going to Arrowhead anymore. Because the issues in the Chiefs' defense, especially in the secondary, those cracks are starting to show. And the Chiefs' O line, bro, terrible. Yesterday, Mahomes was running for his life the whole game. Like, even when he was completing passes, he was getting hit. He kept getting hit, kept getting, like, the whole game. I think he only threw like four passes the whole game from a clean pocket yesterday. Just four passes.
But it's kind of like
So, like, he's
they've
Mahomes, so he's the best. Like, we know he will find a way. But
you know what I'm saying, but they've spotted all these crazy holdings and illegal stuff. So if they win this way,
bro,
bro, it's fine.
Jawan Taylor is still moving before every snap on offense, and the refs are not calling it because I think he has just figured out how to do it without them catching him. Like, at this point, I don't think it is refs are cheating for the Chiefs. Like, I really don't think that's it. Like, I think he has just become so good at doing what he's doing. Like, he gets that early jump and like you can't catch it. Like,
Mm.
because
I mean, it's a game of seconds, so I mean, it's not like they have VR where they're doing instant replay for every
for
single motion.
everything, exactly.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, if you look at every play, I'm sure you can spot
missed calls.
something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I think he has just got so good at it, and I mean, if nobody is seeing it, too bad. When they start calling it, who knows? But this luck has to run out at some point. It's just all
Hey,
us. Like,
we'll see what they carry to this to I was about to say to the Super Bowl, but to the playoffs because they still need to make it to the Super Bowl. But
yep.
yeah, let's move on to college football because there was also a big weekend in conference championships. So across all the conferences, the 1 and 2 seeds were competing again. So this is the Mountain West conference where Boise State ranked the highest, number 10, was facing UNLV, uh, ranked number 20. Obviously, like you said, this was a very bad game in terms of like the watch. You thought like you were even shocked that UNLV got to put up 7 points.
Honestly,
Any
like,
additional? I mean, my boy Ashon Gentry was putting his numbers up.
yeah, one touchdown, one touchdown. They force fed him the
Yeah,
ball as much as they could. Drive up those
150 something
numbers.
yards.
We
It's all
thank God
good
for it. We
still.
thank God for his life. Thank God.
continuing his Heisman run.
They deserve to. They deserve to. No doubt. Like I mean, if UNLV won, it would have been a serious upset. But yeah,
So one of the
congratulations.
weaker conferences. So we'll move on to this. Move on from this. Not a lot to be said. This is the Big 12. This is the same conference as Shea's Buffs.
Yeah,
Um, definitely was hoping to be in here, but hey,
too bad.
Arizona State's
Too bad.
playing Iowa State. I think Iowa Iowa State is actually one of the funniest because I think they were ranked number 2, and for them to like sort of like once they reach that high ranking, they've just been like going down since there. And this loss is definitely taking them out of the college playoffs. So um,
Yeah. So for me, this game, like it, I think this game was actually worse than the UNLV Boise State. Like this game was 45-19, but I don't think it was even as close as this 45-19 you're seeing. Because in the Big 12, there were 4 teams tied for first, right, at the end of the regular season. And they did all this, their tiebreak, whatever, like criteria
strength
that they
of
used to,
conference,
whatever
strength
it
of
was that they
schedule.
used, basically. It ended with Iowa State against Arizona State. And of the 4 teams, I'll say Iowa State is the weakest team. And they showed it in the final, right?
Mm.
So yeah, congratulations to Arizona State. I wish it was Colorado who played that game, but it is what it is.
You all had the
Arizona
chance. You all
State,
had the destiny in your hands.
they
Dropped
fumbled
it.
it. That loss against Kansas was too big to overcome, I guess. And they had lost some games they were not supposed to lose earlier in the season. And yeah, hopefully next season they do better.
Moving on, the big conference. Georgia take down Texas 22-19. Georgia is definitely going to rise up after this. Texas, little slide, but I think they still make the playoffs.
Oh, for sure.
Any any
Uh,
comment?
for me, this game, I I sort of feel bad for the Texas QB, Queen Ewers, because I feel like after every game that they play and they lose like this, people are always asking how how would they have done if they played Arch Manning, and I
He
don't think
played towards the
I
end of
don't,
it, you know.
yeah, I don't think Queen Ewers is a bad QB. Like I think Georgia were just the deserved winners on the day. And I mean, Texas missed 2 of their 4 field goals, and there was a there was a punt, there was a fake punt that Texas allowed to give Georgia a first down that Georgia went on to score from. Like, so I wouldn't put it down to the
Quarterback.
quarterback for me. Like, I think like overall, Georgia won because they deserved to win. It wasn't because Texas was bad. It was actually a very good game from both sides. And yeah, Georgia deserved winners.
You definitely see those from the SEC. Um, moving on to the next strong conference, the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Low key, Oregon should be one of my 4 quadrants, but I have to be honest, I haven't been keeping up with them as much. But in my days in uni, before uni, like Oregon was my team that I used to watch a lot of. So it's just great to see them doing overall well with the new head coach, I mean, similar style of play, but a little bit more pro style than they usually run. Beating Penn State 45-37. I know this was a little bit more competitive of a game, but at the same time, I think Oregon have showcased themselves as really truly the best team in the nation because they beat Penn State, they beat Ohio State,
They've
which
not they're the only unbeaten team in the
yeah, I
country.
mean, I'm not even just like the unbeaten is one thing in terms of their um because the one thing that they have against them is the strength of schedule that is kind of low in the ranking, but to beat
Yeah.
second
I
ranked
mean, it
team and
can't
a
be like
third ranked
SEC
team,
teams. Can't be.
yeah, like you're only as good as the competition you face, but when they face tough competitions, they've shown up both defensively and offensively. So we'll see what they can do this season. I don't think they've ever won a national championship, to be honest. So this would be the first time that they potentially could win that. So, and in a new conference at the same time, like definitely a good year for them. Great year for them.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan Gabriel, their quarterback, like solid game, 4 touchdowns, like best team in the country, and they showed why. That's all I have to add. Like nothing else.
Nice.
Yeah.
The last one, ACC. This is where my alma mater Syracuse played for. Um, Clemson with the W over SMU. Again, this conference has been doing a lot of topsy turvy. Like Clemson as a sports house has always been big. They've just gone through a little dip this past couple of years. They're usually one of the like the top five teams like in college consistently for like the past. It's been a while. Like that's where what's his name? The guy that got hurt for the Browns.
Deshaun
Quarterback
Watson.
Deshaun
Deshaun
Watson played
Watson.
for, and like they've had a lot of like wide receivers come out of there that have been big time. So they it's good for them to get a W now, and we'll see if they can take this momentum into next year to continue to build this powerhouse um,
Mm-hmm.
football school in the ACC, which is not too typical for the conference. But if we go on to the next slide, we've shown you the final brackets for the playoffs as it is. See anybody that
Yeah.
is standing out that you feel is going to run to
Uh
the finish line.
before I get to that, I think I want to just touch on Alabama not making it, because Alabama really and truly is not in this final bracket simply because Clemson beat SMU, right? So Clemson is ranked 16, right? But um because they won their, what do you call it? Because they won their
The
um
championship, the ACC.
championship, they got an automatic spot into the playoffs, right? So yeah, that sort of knocked off Alabama. So like the first team to miss out. And yes, I get why some people might be feeling, you know, like you don't have the best teams playing the like college football playoff. But the committee for me put themselves in a tough situation when they ranked SMU ahead of Alabama last week. Like if they knocked SMU out of this for losing the championship game, it would have been like they were penalizing SMU for losing their championship game. And I mean, we know what that would mean. Like the kind of precedent that was set going forward is that teams can maybe now decline playing in their conference championship game for fear of losing and getting knocked out of the college football playoff. You
Mm,
get, yeah. So I can understand why the um college football playoff committee like stuck to their guns and still kept Alabama out. What I just think is maybe from next season, like instead of this, top five conference champions getting automatic spots, you have the top 25 ranking for a reason. Like if truly you are going to like consider strength of schedule, like I think you should just see people how they finish in the rankings for the playoffs.
yeah.
Like instead of doing the, because to be fair, like a team that's ranked 16th being in the college football 12 team college football playoff, it doesn't really sit right with me. But it is what it is. A number 12 ranked team getting an automatic spot. What does that
No,
tell me?
I completely agree with you, and I think it's one of the things that they will have to adjust in. I think that the buy should be determined based on your ranking,
Yeah,
but there should
your
still
CD
be a
should be
way
up.
for you to still have representation across all the conferences, which is what that's win the conference and you automatically get in.
Yeah,
Um, I don't think it should be a buy. It should just be an entrant, and then it's like you fill in the first um the top 12, and then from that top 12, the ranking gives them the slot in terms of the buy, that kind of situation. So it's kind of
exactly.
what they do in the NFL. Like what you
Yeah,
finish in your own division is one thing, but your ranking across um,
The
the
conference.
conference is what sort of feeds into your buy or not buy. So I'm looking at Oregon and I'm seeing a straightforward path, especially if Tennessee is able to beat Ohio State to the final, because again the bottom seed, whether I can see Clemson beating Texas on a good day kind of situation, and regardless, I'm not too worried of Texas playing Oregon or Ohio State either. So I would say the only real threat is probably Georgia, because Georgia, I think their defense is strong enough to really um,
Bro,
upset.
these not Notre Dame guys, like I don't know, man. That particular section of the bracket for me, like seems like the toughest. Um,
So top right
to get
quadrant.
to the top right, to get to the semifinal for me, I think it's between
Yeah,
these guys. Like
I think that the bottom right is the weakest,
for
followed by the
sure.
bottom left.
No, Penn State should get to the semifinals for me,
We'll see.
but you never know because it's part of what people were saying. Like Penn State schedule, like we don't think it was that like strong, but
Difficult, yeah. Yeah, I think Big
today they
Ten
are ranked
overall
number 4.
they didn't really get a lot of competition within, because there are only three main teams: the Oregon, the Ohio State, Penn State. Michigan didn't have a great season, so
But college
it makes
football, man,
sense.
you never really know, bro. You never really know.
I
It's
will
what you see
continue to
on the day.
update this ranking, because they'll be playing them all the way through till the new year. I think even after the new
The
year.
games will start on the 20th. The first round will start on the 20th of December.
Yeah, and I think the last game should be like a little bit after the new year,
Yeah.
if I remember right. Yeah. Yep. So we'll definitely keep you guys updated and let you know how the scores go. Um, but yeah, we'll move on now to another bracket. Oh, actually, no, sorry. We wanted to quickly let you know that our big time Bill is looking to make the switch to the college game. I mean, I don't believe this, to be honest. I know I saw this news about him interviewing, but first of all, I don't even see a reason why he would interview. I just feel like he would be hired rather than interviewed. But Baba is trying to get a job is kind of what I see. He's tired of doing
Yeah,
sports.
this TV commitment, this TV commitment is too much for him, man. Like I don't
It's
know,
like
but
too much
how do you
talking.
think he would do though? Like if he gets the job,
Uh, I really think he should just stick with the NFL. He's not that type of personality.
bro, he's going
Um,
to kill those boys. He's going to
real.
kill those boys. Like destroy their love for the game before they even get to the real game. But yeah,
Yeah.
um,
Um. So we'll move on
moving
now
on
to
to
the NBA. Do another, like I promised, review of the brackets for the Emirates NBA Cup. The Bucks against the Magics, the Knicks against the Hawks, and then we have the Rockets against the Warriors, and then the Thunders against the Mavericks. I personally think my pick is the Magic go on to the next round, the Hawks go on to the next round, the Warriors go on to the next round, and then the Thunders go on to the next round, and we're going to see a final between the Magic and the Warriors. Is my take.
hmm,
But yeah, I'm not a betting man, so feel free to reject my my predictions. But the Magics are just been a team that have been on form and they're really playing well. I know they have a couple of injuries, but they play really well in terms of like the full depth of their squad. Um, the Hawks too have also been playing well. Trey Young has been crazy numbers of assists. Like he's been putting up 20 assists like it's like a regular thing every weekend, every day. Um, the Rockets, I think they're also on form, but I just feel like the Warriors are really on it this year, so I would never bet against them. And OKC is my team, so I will continue to ride with them um, till they face Steph, and we all know that's a different type of beast. So yeah, that's kind of how I landed on it. But again, similar to college, we'll keep you updated on the games, the results, and bring out some high level analysis of the game.
For sure.
I think we'll move on to our last segment for the day. Um, we had 2 weekends of 2 weeks, not weeks, but there was a midweek football game and then it was a weekend football game. So it was a lot of games that were played between the last time we covered this. We'll just
Yeah.
flash on the screen, the results from most of the game and point out that City were finally able to win against Nottingham Forest. You had Everton flog Wolves 4-0.
Bruh.
Leicester flog West Ham too. But the big matchup from this week, if we go on to the next one, was the Arsenal Man U game, where Arsenal, again with their dark arts, two headers, won the game.
Quite
Chelsea
unfortunate. Quite unfortunate.
continued to dominate. Chelsea has been really good this past couple of games. 5-1 against Southampton. Liverpool had the 3-3 draw against Newcastle, so there was opportunity for Arsenal to close the gap.
Liverpool should have lost that game, by the way. Like Newcastle
Yeah, I saw
just
it.
kept giving them chance after chance to stay in the game. Anyway,
Aston Villa won 3-1 against Brentford. And then the last couple of games, your Spurs being Spurs as always, and Fulham 3-1 drumming of Brighton. So this was the midweek games, and then we moved on to the weekend games where Liverpool's game got postponed to the last Merseyside derby in Everton's stadium because they're moving to a new
yeah.
stadium later on. Aston Villa, another victory. Brentford 4-2 against Newcastle. Like, wow. I didn't even know that happened.
Serious,
Newcastle is just
serious beating. Like the oh my god, oh my
Man
god.
City again. I know again they struggled again to continue their form. 2-2
Yeah,
against Crystal Palace after 2-0 up, just capitulating. Their defense is really a problem at this point in time.
yeah,
Moving on to the next set of results. Man, you continue to collect those L's. Hence
bro.
why she was not.
This game, this game gave me
Now,
headache, headache.
Onana's
Yeah.
Onana's saving was quite spectacular.
Bro, even the person that scored said he thought Onana was going to save it. So
Um, then we have Fulham, who continue to hold down Arsenal, or Arsenal holding down themselves. I don't know which one it is at this point, but
now they hold yourselves, man. You guys are holding yourselves down.
1-1 draw game. Bournemouth 2-1, Brighton 2-2 against Leicester, and
Yeah, Van Nistelrooy unbeaten.
continues run. And then Chelsea again, another big time victory, like late winner against Spurs. So they are flying, and nobody can
Yes,
even say that.
people say that, but excuse me, I don't know. Like this Chelsea results, like I don't know. I I felt it could have gone either way. Like I didn't think it was as dominant from Chelsea as people on social media made it out to be after the
I,
game.
I mean, Chelsea fans are very delusional, but I think the the reality on ground is that a lot of people did not have great expectations for Chelsea, and
Yeah, I
because
mean
they
they're second,
continue
right?
to, yeah, because they continue to do well even without those great expectations. It's kind of, I think that's where it's kind of just like they're actually overachieving, but realistically they are not overachieving because they spent 1.2 billion to build this squad. So they really should be competing. But um I didn't watch the full game, so I can't tell in terms of like the actual play of the game. But I'll take your opinion as yeah, they were lucky to get that
I,
W.
I
So
mean, I mean, a big like swing point in the game for me was the Caicedo tackle, where I felt going off of what Bruno got sent off for against Spurs. Like I know Premier League came out and said it was a mistake, but if we are keeping it 100, like that tackle was high. It was on the player's shin, and his toes were showing. And I felt that was supposed to be a straight red, but
you know,
you never know with these refs. To be fair, as the hot,
you
basically.
just deal with it as it comes. But I mean, I think overall the Prem has been actually more competitive this season, which is good for it. I think it's definitely crying out for a lot of action in the January transfer windows for a lot of the competitors. So your
For
Chelsea,
people
I
who
know,
have money,
yeah, have money, but people who are like in the top of the Premier League trying to compete. So like your Liverpool, I would still anticipate that they go in to get somebody, but they might not, which is just a Liverpool thing. I know Chelsea are going to be hunting for um, attackers or defenders.
okay,
Us, I know we need to be in the business for an attacker, for attackers. Man City are definitely going to look to bring in reinforcement. You guys might look to back your manager with one signing or something like that. So it should be a busy January transfer window. I'm hoping it's going to be busy, but yeah, I think the season is definitely been set up for a little bit more uh, competitiveness across the board rather than one or two teams just, you know, flying at the top of it and everybody just watching them. So I think it's been a decent season, to be honest.
fair enough. We're not even halfway yet. By the end of the year,
Yeah.
we should be, I think. Um, but let's just go through a couple of quick fire topics and
Mhm.
get your thoughts, basically. First one. So, Man City's hearing on their 115 charges is now like over, and apparently we are going to get the verdict in a couple of months. Like, so the 115 charges apparently increased to a total of 130 by the end of the hearing. So, um, they say they need a couple of months to come out with their verdict. Um, what do you think
It
is going
just
to happen?
sounds like you've given City a couple of months to figure out how much they can find in their pockets to make this situation go away. That's even part of the increasing the number of offenses. It's like, see, it's not even 113, it's 130. Oh. Like, better go and find how you can do deal. Whether you sponsor something in Premier League, some referee organization or something like that. But yeah, I think it's just going to be a slap on the wrist. I don't see any point deduction, any potential relegation possibility out of this
All
farce.
right. I wish them all the worst, but yeah, we move on. Dan Ashworth leaves Manchester United after 5 months as sporting director. Your thoughts, Yimika?
Yeah, we were talking about this, and my whole take is that I haven't really understood what Dan Ashworth has done in his career to sort of be so celebrated and coveted as a sporting director. Like a lot of people point at, how Newcastle was
His
built
time, his time, his
strategically.
time at the FE. I think it's more from his time at the FE and like
But what does that mean?
putting that whole structure in place, like from their youth teams. Like I don't know, like his time there coincided with like their success at youth level. Like you putting structures in place, like their under 17s, under 20s, under 21s, like they
Yeah,
won
but
trophies, right?
I
Right,
hear
and like
that.
getting those guys into the senior national team, like over
I
the years,
I
right?
hear
A
that,
lot of that work
and
is credited to him. And then
it to
Brighton,
me it seems very logical because again, like you have your reserve teams, your under 18, your every prem team has it. So for you to just say like, hey, we're organizing all of you guys to play together and we're going to select the best of the best, to me it just seems like it was a very basic job that he did well. And from that basic job, a lot of people have been like, he's the wizard, he's the one going to transform your organization and
So
things like that.
so
My take
what you
on
just said now, what you just said now is part of why he was, you know, asked to leave. I wouldn't say fired because he said it was mutual. But yeah, like he was asked to leave. Like what you just said now, because um turns out he's not the transfer guru. He's more of an operations guy. Like, you know, the
yeah,
guy that puts people in place to do
he definitely
those
gave me
things.
that. He definitely gave
Yeah.
me like he's a I'm gonna
But
take the glory
my
of
issue
everybody
is
who was nice that I
my
signed.
issue is did Ineos not know this before we had the whole 5 months of gardening
That's
leave?
what I was raising to you and saying
So
that
yeah, like it's just generally
you
very
can
embarrassing for the club. Like it
you can
doesn't make
only
sense
use
on them.
you can only use his so you say he's known for what he did in FA. Fantastic. Great reputational builder. What you're comparing him to in terms of he has done a similar role was in Newcastle. If you look at what Newcastle did when they first got their whole money, they went on this spree of buying like C rated guys, C plus at best. Your Chris Wood and all these likes of your what's his name, Wilson, all these guys that are mid guys. They're not going to start for any top Premier League club.
Okay.
Okay, wise decision. Did not overspend, did not over invest. But it's not like they have transformed Newcastle. Like Newcastle had one season in Champions League, but right now they look like a regular old Premier League team. So I just didn't know what he was bringing as spectacular to Manu that Manu didn't have. That you wanted to pay
We
2 million on top of what you were going to pay him, and now you have
mm,
fired him, so you're going to still pay him again. And it's just I'm looking at this and saying like these are part of the
I
things that
mean
Ineos was
I
supposed to
mean
bring.
I
A
mean
clear footballing understanding, footballing mindset
yes, yes. It does
from the
not
get go.
it doesn't reflect well on Ineos, no doubt, right? But this is how I see it. If if they realized after he had started that he wasn't a good fit, because clearly that's what they realized. Because I mean, the Athletic article that came out yesterday said after Ten Hag was fired and they asked Baba for replacements, we were hearing names like Southgate and Graham Potter. Like if that's really who he was recommending him, please, we thank God he has left the club
Yeah, but
because
I'm still saying
apparently it
like
was the
this.
CEO that actually like went all the way to Portugal to do the whole Amorim. Like it was actually an Omar Berada thing and not Ashworth. But I don't know, not to just talk too much about it. Like I think I
No,
think I think it's better now than doing it 2 years down the line and just trying to cover your mistake. Like mistakes
I'm
happen. No,
I,
nobody is perfect. Even
I
Ineos are not perfect. So
I told you this was just the let's get our regular old chap that we know. Baba knows how to hire people, and when those people do well, he claims that he's the brains behind it, and it wasn't given that. So, like you said, it's good that it was spotted and it was sort of removed as quickly as possible, but not good look for Ineos
anyway,
footballing decisions.
final thing. Is Arsenal's lack of goals from open play a genuine cause for concern? I'm asking
Hundred
Arsenal
percent,
fans.
100%, 100%. Like that's why I keep saying we need more offensive threats. It's not a limitation to what we should be doing right now. Like it's not a reason why we should not be the first on the league, like with a clear distance. But it is clear that that's part of the things that are holding us back. And again, this is no disrespect to Kai, as who I think is one of the top forwards in the league. It's just more or less how the team is built around. We don't have enough attacking presence from the left side.
Mm.
Um, our midfield is good, but we only have one attacking midfielder or a midfielder that is of an attacking threat. So when you only have Saka, one attacking midfielder, and Kai to sort of pop up with the on-off magical situation, that's like three players. See, football is football is a team sport. You can't just have all that focused the focus on just points of potential offensive output. So we need to diversify. We need to increase attack on the left side in the midfield, and also like a center forward that can also give Kai, because Kai can always play in the midfield, and that gives the attacking impotence for the midfield. But it's just like that versatility. Like Gabriel Jesus hasn't scored this season. Trossard, that was having a phenomenal season last season, he's on off.
bro.
Um,
I saw a tweet. I saw a tweet saying, so like basically someone said he would really like to see an attack for Brazil, like front three, Anthony, Gabriel Jesus, and Martinelli. Bro,
bro, I don't know why they put in Anthony and Gabriel Martinelli in that same situation, please. They need to find somebody else to play on the left.
bro,
But I get
like
what you mean. It's like a lot of
these guys don't score, man. There's no
intensity, but
output.
not delivering anything. Whether they want to
At least
squeeze their flow.
your guys have intensity. I don't see any intensity from Anthony, man. I don't see any.
Anthony's intensity in his face now when he's warming up or getting ready. He's your monster coming off the bench.
Bro. But yeah, for me, I get the cause for concern. Like I get why everybody's frustrated, but I think I think it's just a phase that you guys will overcome. And yes, you definitely do well to get a striker when you can, like an actual, like hungry go getter, like that will sniff out chances out of anything and just get you those goals from the service that you create, basically. I don't know. I don't think Havertz is enough, right, for
No, no,
that
and
position.
I don't say it like as if he has a deficiency. Like, Man City need another striker. It's not to say like Haaland is not good enough. You just need someone who can give you second options. The Man City that had
Hmm.
um
Like give you a
Alvarez
different
coming off the
dynamic in
bench.
that
Yeah,
position. Yeah.
that's really what it is. And I don't think it's anything to do against him. I think again, if another striker comes in, Kai will more likely be moving to the midfield. And then that would be a
True.
situation where can Dex step up and start playing that six role that he really doesn't play? I mean, Dex to me has had one of the like a huge dip in his season from what he did last season to this season, but he's going under the radar because he's not expected to be an offensive output, but he should be based on how they've structured the team. They've allowed him play that free role on the left. Please, can you assist the ball? I mean, yeah, he's assisting from corners, but open play assist, create opportunities. Yeah, those are like the things that I'm saying that we're just being limited by ourselves, not the opponent or yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess we've come to the end of another Red Flags episode. Thank you so much, guys, for always listening, for always engaging. You know, we'll continue to bring you guys this content every Monday. Yeah, just have a good week, guys.
Thank you all. Have a good one.